transient. I would never live here, ever. No. I'm just visiting.
It was actually overwhelming. It was an overwhelming feeling when I first came here because there were so many people. This is the biggest city I've been to. So it was a little bit, it was overwhelming in the sense that there were so many faces to, retain at one time. I always assume people are probably a little bit more intimidated of anything. It is hard being tall and black in the city. It's not everybody's, I guess, finds me that approachable.
I had a job making gardens in zones of conflict, promoting peace. War zones like Sri Lanka, like Cambodia, places like that, which have been completely trashed by dictators and war.
I've been in and out of Parkdale for a few years, and I don't know if you got my daughter's name, but her name is Marisol, which in Spanish translates to ocean and sun. You have new immigrants, you have low-income families, you have people that are suffering through illnesses, all in one area and just literally being pushed out. So yeah, this doesn't really give me a good outlook on the city. A simple policy like rent control can be enforced, and it hasn't, even though people have been asking for it for so long.
People like buying into dreams. They like buying into what they portray in commercials. People like buying into what they portray in magazines. And people are 30K millionaires at the end of the day, like pretending to be all a big deal, but making like barely 30 grand. So what are you busy with? You're not working on a career, you're not raising children, you're not contributing to the community. So chill out.
Next stop, Dundas Street West.
Look at that hair. Should've got you groomed.
Next stop.
Well, I've always been horrible with money. I like to spend things, and I like nice things. And just feels like every time that you get a little bit, something happens. The bills are piling up, and then all of a sudden it's gone again. So.
Why are you asking? Are you trying to date? And just hello. I think that's the secret to approaching. I don't think you need to come through and like have this whole swag and mac and have lines. It's just literally hello. You could be a great person, but like if you think that you need to present yourself as something other than what you naturally are, or you're forcing game or you're forcing whatever, then she's probably gonna shut you off, instantly. I think if you see something you want, go get it. It's like, I'm starting to learn that, and what's the risk? You know what I mean? Like, if nothing happens, then maybe it wasn't supposed to happen.
I have a daughter, she's 8 years old, and she lives in Windsor with her dad. It was a big decision for me to up and leave, but we just didn't have a good working relationship together, and we didn't want her growing up with us screaming and fighting all the time. And had I stayed in Windsor, where we're from, I wouldn't have been able to make enough money to help them out. It was long, lonely days filled with a lot of fake smiles. And the only thing that really got me through it was the fact that I got a little girl that needs to get taken care of, and I've got family that loves me enough to push me forward.
Your kid's identity should be something that I think you can provide tools for them to figure themselves out, although that's not something that it will never happen, because you do actually, by being yourself, put some kind of mold, right? So it's very unstructured, so they pretty much don't. And I'm from Argentina. Thank you, Felix. I'm from Argentina, so it's very,
She loves pictures of herself too. It's kind of we don't know what to think yet. Is that Ava? She goes quickly past all the ones with Daddy. The way I look at it is with her, I know some parents don't let them play with the phones and play with these things, but I really feel like if this is the direction, don't worry about it. If this is the direction that the world's going in, why not embrace that? Why not get her up to speed on these things? And we do try to push for to take her out and play with other little kids, face to face. Obviously, if you can hide behind a screen and think about what to say before you say it, there's not going to be any errors there. As humans, we're meant to make mistakes. We're meant to screw up or say something stupid, and then it's kind of that awkwardness that we've had to get through that has kind of pushed our social skills forward.
Next stop, Dundas Street West.
Sometimes you just have to see things. It's hard to just listen to theory. But try going to a mid-sized European town and wake up on a Saturday morning, go to the plaza or the downtown or the promenade, like the pedestrian-only area, and sit down for a cup of espresso with your travel mate, and you will see what I mean. It's hard to visualize or describe, but time stops, and the feeling of not checking your phone or your watch, it's a cool one.
Today I just packed up all my stuff to leave from an office tower downtown. My bosses there wanted me to stay an extra week, and I called them up. I said, I'm sorry, but I can't do it. So I packed up all my stuff, told my boss, unless you're willing to pay me twice the amount for all the grief, I'm out. And he had no problem with that.
Any city where you're paying $1 million for a bungalow is definitely on the way out. You guys can't afford any to live here, can you? Your mom and dad paying for it, or you're not living here.
Money's not going to fulfill you in the ways that a human relationship would. Friendships are important, more important than
Southside stop.
More important than all the money in the world. In my worst of moments, when I had absolutely nothing, it was people that helped me get by and helped me move forward, not money. Really? Yeah, you too, guys. Take it easy.
Yeah, man. It's a crazy day for me, but yeah, it's cool. You see all the different people that are on the streetcar, and you know that they have a story, the same way you have a story.
It isn't a loving city. It's a fast, consumer-oriented, corporate-driven city. And it's straight downhill.
A lot of things just hit me. I've been dealing with health issues.
Next stop.
To me, depression was like I'd see it and read about it, but I didn't think it was like, oh, I go through it. I just thought I was really sad, going through the winter blues. Sorry. And I'm happy Paul's here. Because this is really, I needed all of today to happen. So, I didn't expect any of this to happen. Literally this morning, I was crying hysterically to the point where I felt suicidal. It's funny, I imagined myself one day crying on camera. I don't remember why. I imagined myself one day crying on camera, and I knew at that point, that would be the point where I would let things go and understand that it would be a vulnerable moment that I would need to happen so I would feel and conceptualize my growth. But yeah, I was feeling depressed to the point that I was suicidal. I remember I called my friend
Next stop, Jarvis Street.
instantly. And she didn't answer. But, whoops. Finding out who I am and perfecting that person in every sense of the phrase. That's what I really look forward to. Yeah. Is that it? Because I shared everything.
When people have nothing left to lose, they become human. Before that, they're identified with a culture, or religion, race, whatever. But when they're really, that's it. And you're working with those people, they become very human. They're very compassionate. It all ends in the same place for everybody. So we have to be more compassionate with one another.
Next stop, Peter Street.